Page 24, Hoe-Down. 4/4 time, one sharp in the key signature. We're in the key of G major. Make sure you can do the G major scale. I'm assuming you also know the primary chords for these keys, because it's kind of important that you do. In both hands, it helps. Now it looks kind of ugly over there on page 25, but when you start to understand how the music fits and the chords and all the notes and the harmony and all goes together, it falls in line. It's not quite so bad. We'll talk about it. Going to start with the right hand. At the beginning, you're here, it's a G chord. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. And then the third major, just come down 1. You got to rest, you can come down. It's an F chord. And all those F's are natural because that natural sign applies for the rest of the measure. But they have to give you a natural on each measure because it's only good for that measure. 1 and 2, 3 and... And the next line you're back up to G, and then third major back to F, and the last measure. But it's not quite so bad, I hope. You just move it around a little bit. The rhythm will make more sense when we add the left hand to it. Page 25. Well, look at the first 3 notes. It's a G chord. So the first 2 measures, it's just a broken G chord, but they just added a C sharp in one spot. So the whole thing is just a G chord, except for that one C sharp. That's all it is, except for the C sharp. And I'm just transferring weight from finger to finger. I'm walking on the keyboard. And then at the end of the second measure, just bring the thumb down, and then bring the hand down. Now it's an F chord, except for the B natural. And then at the end of the first line, bring the thumb up, you're going back to G. And then third measure over, back to F. Third line, well now we're up here, but if you look at the first 3 notes, it's a G chord in first inversion. Here, we put the G on top. That's all it is. And then they added that F sharp in there. And the third measure over, you come down 1, just reach down and then bring the hand down. This is an F chord in first inversion, but you have an E natural in there. Now, last line, last 2 measures. Look out. Last 8th note, bring the third finger down. This way you're in position for the last measure. Because we got to come back down here. So it's like so. So once you understand how the chords are working and all those 8th notes start to make sense. It's not quite so intimidating. Then left hand. Well, the left hand's got the chords too. G chord at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then the F chord, 2 measures, 2, so forth. And that's pretty much all the left hand does throughout. Put them together. So it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and so forth. Go down to the last 2 measures on page 24. You're here. See, I had to bring the left hand up, but the right hand is there. And then for the next measure there, top page 25, the right hand comes up, the left hand's in position. You just have to know which 8th note you're going to play those chords with. That's here. Playing with the D. So forth. Third line down, it's the same thing, we're just in first inversion for the right hand. So forth, and that's it. It's just those 2 chords. It's fairly simple, harmonically speaking. You're using a G chord and an F chord, back and forth. Once you can get that with no hesitations or anything, you don't have to go fast, just steady. Then put in the staccatos, just wrist staccato. Try and hold the arm still and just do this at the wrist. And at the last measure on page 24, you have an accent on the first beat in both hands. Play them a little extra. And the half notes in accent. And then at top page 25, you can keep playing the left hand staccato if you want, but the right hand's connected. And they're saying lift up, slurring it. That's fine. I tend to connect it, but you can lift up in the right hand between the second and third measure at the end of a slur to the beginning. I don't know. Okay, just don't mess up the beat. So that line is. So forth. And you have accents at the end of the line too, blah, blah, blah. Once you can get all that, dynamics. Well, you're starting out loud. You have an F-P. So the first time you play this, you're going to be loud. And the second time you play it, whenever that is, you're going to be soft. So we're loud here, both hands. The accents are going to be very loud. They're in the last measure. Both hands. Now you can play the left hand staccato if you want, but that right hand is slurred. And then at the top of page 25, go down to medium soft. And that you can do both hands the same here. And then the accents at the end of the second line would be about a medium loud. You just go up a little bit from where you're at. And then the last two lines, now you're very loud. Don't get carried away, because there's louders than very loud, but very loud. The idea is to get the dancers excited. Here we go, yay team. Careful not to speed it up. Keep the rhythm, the beat, steady, because then the dancers get a little carried away. You have enough that moonshine stuff, it goes. Then we add the speed. Well, this is fast. I'm guessing about as fast as I've been playing it, but it has to be accurate. So it's going to have to be your fast, not my fast. However, you can play this eighth notes on page 25 evenly and controlled. That's your accurate. That's your speed. At the beginning, that's the speed you go. Don't play the beginning and get to page 25 and go. Don't slow down. The whole thing's got to be one speed, please. So if you got to play this slow, then play this slow. Both times. At the bottom of page 25, they put in a DC al fine. DC means go back to the beginning, remember. So that takes you back to the top of page 24. That's where the F-P comes in. Now, the second time you play, you're going to play this soft. And the fine is at the bottom of page 24. You see it there, you're in there. So we end up playing page 24 and 25, and then go back and play page 24 again. Is what it is. I'd like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. Not going to do the dynamics. We will go really slow here too. So let's try it. I'll give us 4 counts. 1 and 2 and ready and go, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and beginning, on N. And 4 and off.